So I hexed someone, put them in a jar.
You know what? The way this started, like, you know what? I'm gonna just let her talk. I'm gonna just let her talk.
When I was pregnant, because they did some shit to me while I was pregnant. Like, they basically tried to kill the baby. I happened to bump into them because it's a family member, and she started telling me about how she's been losing her hair in chunks, not like little bits, like chunks, right? So I was like, what? That's crazy. You should put some rice water in your hair, knowing damn well her hair's falling out because of me. Not only that, she's losing teeth. Keep putting that rice water.
To each his own with that one. You know, she said that she tried to, you know, put something on her baby, so she reversed it, did something right back to her. You know, I just feel like it's none of my business. Who am I to tell her how to protect her child against forces? Anyways, y'all, we back with another video. As you know, you can see by the title. We're just gonna get straight into the video because we got a lot to learn about energy and magic and stuff. Let's just get straight into it. Alright, I'm about to give y'all a little hoodoo story time. So this story I was actually told by my dad and my grandma. And this was about the time my dad was fighting a case and he was about to get sent to one of the worst prisons in Louisiana. So boom, my dad's about to fight a case. He's trying to figure out like how can he get out of it, like, oh, what you and my grandma knew this lady in Louisiana. And she was the lady everybody used to go to when you needed work done. So the lady told her to get petition paper and put the judge's name on there. See, y'all thought that this was gonna be a channel where y'all got all the little hoodoo and voodoo tips. This wasn't that. So we just gonna be skipping past how he casted the spell, and let's just get straight into the aftermath of it. Yeah, I saw what you was trying to do. So boom, my dad gets to the freaking, oh my God, my dad walked on a judge for about 3 to 5 days. Okay, cool. He gets to the point where he needs to be sentenced. I kid y'all not. From both of their words, the judge got up in there and like fell asleep. The judge fell asleep, like in the middle of my dad's case. He just fell asleep, and the judge woke up and literally told my dad to just go home. I cannot make this up. I got the story from my grandma and my dad. So if anybody's like, hoodoo isn't real, this isn't real, let me tell you something, baby. I done seen some stuff, and it's definitely real. So get into your culture, baby, all right? Now, I'm all for protection. I love anything that has to do with keeping your protections up, you know? So, anyways, I'm going to just let y'all know again. None of this is my business. I don't have no comment on what these people are doing with their lives and what their decisions are when it comes down to magic, voodoo, hoodoo, whatever they decide to do. We are just learning more about what is going on and what could possibly be going on with your family members and people, you know, out in the world. Before we get into the next video, I want to make sure that y'all are educated on what's the backfires, how it works, and how you need to be able to protect yourself, and also making sure that you are not just jumping into things you don't understand.
Does hoodoo work, and can you tell me about a time when you heard stories of people being hexed or hoodooed?
Yeah, it works. It works. I think that if you believe in something, it works.
What if you don't believe in it?
It ain't gonna work for you.
But what if you're if you're the one being hexed and you don't believe in it? Will it work on you or not?
It can. I think it could. The person working the thing has to believe in it. You know, and if they believe in it, why wouldn't it work? I remember an aunt when I was a little girl, and she had this terrible walk. Whenever she walked, it was almost like her foot just flapped in the air before it came down. You know, it was really bad. she said she was Hoodoo. And she said the reason why she believed that is because she came home one night and there was some substance, some powder or something in front of the door. And she stepped in it. And after that, her foot went bad, you know. And I believe, and she believed, that she was Hoodoo. Somebody wanted something from her that, or had some issue with her. As a child, I never heard any more of that story except that that's what happened to her foot.
So in the comment, it says, it's about the hexer believing in their intention. It works regardless if the receiver of hex believes in it or not. So I used to ask my father when I would be watching scary movies with him. It would be these scenes where the people would be holding the prayer beads and the cross, and they would be like putting it right in front of the demon and trying to like cast it out and using the Bible to cast the demons out. And I'd be like, at that time, I felt like Jesus was just a regular man that they made into a martyr to interpretly make you believe in something else that's darker. I felt like they just wanted people to worship something that they had control in creating. If the God in the Bible isn't necessarily real, in my opinion, how are these people casting out these demons using the words of this Bible and using Jesus's name? And then he told me what happens when you manifest. Anything that you truly believe in, that you put your full intentions to, it manifests, and that is where the power comes from. And he was like, in the scary movie, they strongly believe that this cross is going to protect them, so it does. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. This is another video telling you about curses and spells and the side effects of them. And I'm just doing the best that I can with the knowledge that I know, y'all. Please do not fault me for anything that I miss. Please continuously correct me and put some information in the comments.
Did you know that curses, hexes, and spells can follow you from lifetime to lifetime? Some of my clients, like the client I had today, like to ask this question if there's anything like that impacting them in their life now. And my client today found out that she's had one that's followed her through several lifetimes. Her higher self said her soul is very, very beautiful and it's made people envious in several lifetimes. And a number of lifetimes ago, this happened and someone wished her very ill as a result of being jealous. Her higher self said at that point, she has the option to choose it and believe it and live in that jealous, ugly energy, or she can learn the lesson from it and move on. And to this point, she has always chosen to live in that energy and then take a victim mentality like, woe is me. Her higher self said it's been like a low self-esteem cloud that she hasn't been able to shake. She'll start a lifetime over, but then her beautiful, bright soul attracts someone who's jealous of her, and it starts all over again, and the curse is reactivated, so to speak. And each time it happens, her higher self said she has the choice to either accept it or to reject it, and know that she is the one that creates her reality. And the lesson for her is she needs to learn how to let things go, to not take on feelings of guilt from others or take on their emotions. That it's not her responsibility to care about other people's emotional upheavals and dramas and traumas and worry about their happiness. That her happiness is her sole focus. Their journey is their journey and her journey is her journey, and she needs to learn the distinction between the two, and that she should not let the emotions of other people's journeys impact hers. That ultimately it comes down to her stepping into her own power and not allowing other people to create upon her with their energy and their words. So, like if there isn't enough to worry about in these lives, now we have one more thing to add: curses, hexes, and spells.
Wow. I bet that touched a couple of people in this video, because I honestly felt that when you're taking on the emotions and thought patterns of other people and the energy of other people, and you're carrying it with you, and now you thinking differently about yourself, and it just keeps recycling every lifetime, and you haven't learned to accept your own energy and not take on the forms of other people's energy. It's especially if you're an empath. Oh my gosh, that is like the main level one thing that you need to learn for yourself. If someone has a projection of their own reality, you do not have to accept that into yours. Let me give you another example, especially with them tarot cards.
Good morning, brats. I'm back with another video, and I had to drop this one because if y'all are following me, that means y'all are similar to my energy. And this really needs to be told because this is some crazy stuff going down in the spiritual community. And baby, it goes deeper than what I ever thought it could. I learned some information last night that blew my freaking mind. Okay, so there is this popular YouTuber, okay? She's a tarot reader on YouTube. Absolutely loved her videos. In fact, when I first got into spirituality and started learning about tarot and going deeper into hermetics and astrology and numerology and stuff, she's basically the one that like kind of guided me because she broke it down in a way that was easily understood. And she was doing it through tarot. So all while she was teaching me that, she was telling me what was going on and what steps I needed to take in my life. Sounds all good and dandy, right? Well, when I originally started watching this tarot reader, like it was just something that it just drew me to her. Like I almost to the point where I became obsessed with watching her every day, waking up, couldn't wait for a video when she didn't drop videos. Like my anxiety was high. It's like I needed to see what was next. Shortly after I started watching this tarot reader, I noticed that my life like went for the biggest turn that it could have ever went in. Like I would have never prepared or expected this to happen. And truthfully, I didn't correlate the two. I didn't think that my life was doing what it was doing because of me watching the readings or even connecting with this person's energy. Telling y'all this because, for starters, we've really got to be careful who we open up our energy to, who we watch, who we're allowing to speak things over our life, because you never know what the freak is really going on. So maybe you can see the signs and you know what to do, or you know how to avoid certain things, or you at least know what's going on in your life, because it basically took me by storm. And if it wasn't for me meeting this girl, I would have never have found out what was going on. So we're going to start off like this. I had a dream about this tarot reader. Okay, so it went something like this. So I was in a hotel and I was sitting down and there was a laptop in front of me and I was watching this tarot reader's YouTube channel, and all of a sudden I hear something like sounds like something scraping the floor coming towards the doors of the hotel lobby. Now mind you, it's empty, there's nothing but a desk there and a chair and like this laptop, and I see somebody come in with hella bags. Lo and behold, it was this tarot reader. She comes in with all these bags. She walks up to me, and I remember she'd asked me a couple of questions, and I know she wanted me to come upstairs with her. I remember her like reaching in to kiss me, and I like declined this kiss. I was just like, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so firstly, I want y'all to be really, really careful about if you see people in your dreams and they're trying to kiss you or do any other stuff that leads on to more than kissing. You need to be very, very careful, because you never know when somebody is trying to latch their energy onto yours. If y'all want the rest of her story, just make sure y'all go to her page. It's right there at the top. I always make sure y'all can find people's pages on the videos that I react to. But the main thing what I wanted y'all to take away from this video that she's talking about is when you're watching tarot card readers, you're allowing this person to dictate your future and dictate what's going to happen. And if they're saying anything negative, you honestly believe that that's going on in your life. If it resonates with you, then it resonates with you. But if it don't, and you're just making yourself believe that this is your future and this is your life, then that's where you need to actually get some real reflection in on yourself and your life, because you are in control. If you're not getting a personal reading, if you're not personally connected with that person, it's like it can be addictive. Don't get too hooked on your cards or watching other people with their cards. Follow what's going on within first.
So I need y'all to be careful out there in the spiritual world. And I don't know who this is for. And I'm sorry that I'm crying, but y'all don't understand. There's a lot of misinformation going on out there in the spiritual TikTok world, especially with us being under spiritual warfare. There's a lot of people in the spiritual TikTok world, or in the spiritual world, or whatever you want to call it, that are deceiving you. And I'm going to tell you guys that that is not something that you want to play with, okay? I got close to one individual, and I feel like ever since I got close to that one person, my life has been on a downhill, just spiraling out of control. And no matter how many times I pick myself up, something always happens that brings me right back to step one. Always. I met this YouTuber who was a popular YouTuber, and at the time, the conversation that we were having was exposing this narcissistic woman beating, abusing man named Nature Boy all over YouTube. This man had used several platforms to try and get people to come out to his cult. It was a cult, and he was using so many different types of spiritual type of teachings in order to draw in people to his cult to join into. It was like a sex cult, and he was drawing all these people in to try and come out there, and they were having diseases. It was disturbing. It was just a disturbing situation. So I came into play when he had went viral on World Star. And so I started doing my research into him. I found that there were people like Young Pharaoh and other people that started talking about this man and some of the very controversial things that he said on his platform. Well, eventually it led all the way up into, I went deep, really deep into a rabbit hole. I didn't even know how deep this rabbit hole had even got, y'all. I didn't even know how deep it had gotten. But I had got so intertwined with these people, and I didn't know what I was in for.
This is the problem that happens within the spiritual community when everybody is watching these people who are speaking on cosmic knowledge. They get attached to them, and when they find out the truth about what's happening behind the scenes, it just breaks their heart. It's sad. I really don't like to see people cry, and she shouldn't be crying. That is something that you cannot control, and a lot of people are deceived. Even people in the music industry, even people in Hollywood, a lot of people are deceived because you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes of what these people are doing. All these people, all of these followers, you have to use your own intuition. It's not good to look up to people or look for people for knowledge.
So let's finish talking about it. And y'all, I am a crier. So I'm a Pisces, okay? Filled with water. So y'all gonna judge me anyway. I don't care. It is what it is. But y'all know my emotions are real. So I just want y'all to understand that there's nothing fake about me sharing my story, sharing my life, sharing my information. This is authentic. You can see it in my eyes. Okay, so as I was saying, so I didn't expect to go down this deep rabbit hole. I didn't know how far down it would go. But I ended up becoming friends with this lady, this woman, who was very close to some of the same people that I'm going to mention in this video. Now, I don't want to say her name because it started with her initially, but she wasn't the one who hexed me, but it did start with her. Now, it wasn't until I got with her that I was introduced into black magic, or I was introduced into, magic of the occult or anything like that. It wasn't until speaking to her, becoming friends with her, that I knew about it, because she would get into arguments with different people and she would speak about how she's going to put people in the freezer, and, it was just all type of things, that's crazy things that she would talk about. I'm going to put protection spells on you guys, and it was just...
Y'all know who she talking? I don't know who she's talking about. Well, let's just continue. I don't know who she talking about, y'all.
It was crazy. Well, come to find out, all of these people that was portraying the life that they was living online, it was false. Nothing of the life that they lived online was truly the life that they lived in real life. And it didn't hit me until I actually had my first interaction with Young Pharaoh. And see, that's when I started to fall back. And at first, I was kind of afraid to actually voice to the collective, to the people out there that were supporting him, to tell them exactly who this person was in real life. Because first, I didn't think nobody would believe me because he was so highly respected and so highly loved. And then second, I was like, it's none of my business. Eventually, he's going to show himself. People are going to see him for who he is, just the same way that I did. So I'm just going to let it go and I'm going to fall back. But something was compelling me to talk about it. Something was compelling me to speak the truth and say, Listen, y'all, stop listening to these people that y'all are out here watching. At least if you're listening to their messages, that's fine. Because I know that some people have good messages, but the person themselves can be tainted. And that's okay. But separate the message from the teacher, because these people are not the people that you think that they are. They're not living the same type of life that they're telling you guys or forcing you guys to live. And they don't mean what they say. They're not genuine. It's just about finding the information that they have access to, because you don't have that access to every day. You work, you struggle, you stress, and you don't have time to actually go and access books and all this type of articles and stuff like that to compile everything to put together. They have the time to do this. So just take the message, take what resonates, and leave the rest.
Firstly, I want to say there is always time to go within and find the knowledge that you need to find. There is never no limit on how much you can contain within your life and have within your life, especially when it comes down to spiritual knowledge. I don't think she has any more of the story about what happened to her. I was looking on her page, but I wanted to say this. For the people whose minds automatically go to negativity after saying a sentence out of my mouth, I want you to know that I do not think that these people are lying. Regarding their stories, I will say you are what you believe. I hope that they got the help that they needed to release whatever energy they felt that has latched on to their lives. The main thing I want y'all to do is recognize the lesson from their experiences. These two goddesses have said that watching too many people and getting racked up in their worlds and getting involved with these people's personal lives, well, you know, one of them got involved with the personal life, but when you're getting involved in that area of energy with it, when it pertains to somebody else, it affects you. It always affects you. And it affects you on a very, very quantum level. Most of us who are on our spiritual journey and looking for like-minded beings, you get involved in their teachings and you like what they teach. And I feel like you should always take away the message and the lessons that they are giving out. But it gets to a point where when you're involving yourself with idolizing these people and putting them higher above you, which makes it a problem, and it allows things to come in that you do not need in your life. This movement and our awakening, we want the collective to grow differently, not in the way that these celebrities in Hollywood and all of these famous people and have all these people who's crazy about them wanting to take pictures of them and know about their personal lives. And it's just we don't want that to happen in the same way of, you know, our community of the awakening. We want to make sure that everybody is growing and everybody feels that they have a chance in life and experiencing whatever they desire. So moving forward, for anybody who is coming into their awakening, pay attention to the message if you are watching people, not about the person and what they're doing with their personal life and how they're existing. Then you get into disassociating yourself from your own life. And the whole journey is about going within. But we're going to wrap this video up. Let me know if y'all want a part 2. I love y'all and thank you for watching.